guys, it's Jess. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be showing you the books that I read in November. So I have decided to film this video in front of my Christmas tree because I just put it up today and I am very proud of it. This is my Christmas tree. I got these really cute quote baubles with reindeer on. I've got a little Statue of Liberty, she's just chilling. I've got a cheeky astronaut down here as well, just hanging around. I think he's so cool, to be honest. I've got a zebra and a T-Rex. I've got a little doggy. And I think this is my favourite bauble. This is a shark with a reef on. That is just so Christmassy right there. But we're not here to talk about my Christmas tree, we are here to talk about the books that I read in November. So as I probably mentioned in my December TBR video, November was not the best month for me in terms of reading. I got very poorly for about 2 weeks during the middle of the month, which meant that other than work, I was physically and mentally unable to do anything else. I really struggled to focus on reading. I just wanted to lay in bed and watch Netflix shows and try and conserve my energy for my shifts. And looking back, working while I was so ill was probably not the best decision that I've ever made, but I couldn't really afford the time off. Because of that reason, I'm still very drained and I have struggled to read anything recently, but last month I managed to read 3 books, so that's still pretty good considering I was unwell and I had a lot of work going on and other stuff. And we're going to talk about those books now. The first book that I picked up in November was Dark Matter, A Ghost Story by Michelle Paver. I had wanted to read this for quite some time and I was hoping to get to it in October, but I didn't have time, so I picked it up pretty much straight after Halloween and I thoroughly enjoyed this. I read this in about 24 hours. I remember I started it one night and I finished it the next night. It was really good. It wasn't as amazing as I had hoped it would have been. A lot of the reviews about this book that I had read said that it was very scary, that they couldn't sleep, etc, and for me it just wasn't on that level of scariness. I would have liked a lot more in terms of ghostly goings on and a bit more background into what was haunting the place and why it was haunting the place. It just felt a little bit underwhelming. We follow these group of guys that go onto an expedition to this remote spot in the Arctic where a couple of years previous some miners, I think, were, and they ended up getting killed by something. No one had been back since. It was regarded as a kind of cursed place. Nobody dared say the name of it, and I'm not going to say it because I can't pronounce it. And we follow this main character called Jack, who is on this expedition, and his teammates start leaving the expedition one by one. One guy breaks his leg on the way, another guy ends up not going at all because his uncle or his father died, and then another guy gets really ill halfway through the expedition, so he has to go and the other guy goes with him, so it just leaves Jack on his own. And that's when the spooky things start becoming a lot more prominent within the story. But yeah, it just wasn't that scary for me, but I still did enjoy it. I think Michelle Paver is a fantastic writer. The pacing was spot on. I couldn't put it down. I gave this book 3 stars, 3.5 stars. I can't really remember, but definitely would like to read more of Michelle Paver's books. I know that she released a book this year, I believe, called Wyvernhurst, something to that effect. I will put the name on the screen for you when I edit this video because I'm not 100% certain if I said it right. And I know that it was one of Waterstone's books of the month quite a while ago, so I would love to get to that. The next book that I picked up this month was Blue Bloods by Melissa De La Cruz. This is a YA vampire urban fantasy. and it sounded like everything that I was going to like. I love vampires. It's set in New York City, which is one of my favourite settings to read about. It's an urban fantasy. I love the dark and gritty elements of urban fantasies quite a lot. But this book is terrible. Honestly, I finished it and I feel like I've wasted my time with this book, to be honest. It was just very, very cringy, very cliched. Just, I felt like nothing happened as well. So we basically follow this girl called Shyla or Shula. I don't really know how to say her name. It's spelt really weird, but I'm just gonna go with Shyla because that's how I was saying it in my head. She discovers that she is a blue blood. So blue bloods are these vampires that basically live in society as very rich people. A lot of models, a lot of actors, a lot of businessmen are blue bloods. They're very well respected. They're regarded as celebrities pretty much, and she finds out that she's one of them. And the blue bloods are people that had come over to America on the Mayflower in the 1600s and had originally settled there. And they go through these things called cycles. So after their first life cycle is up, their souls remain in like a permanent state of stasis until another host is born and their soul lives on in that person. It's really, really confusing, and even when I'm explaining it now, I feel like such an idiot. I don't understand any of it. I didn't understand any of the background or the history at all. It felt like there was just way too much information being thrown at you all at once, and I feel like the writer just was winging it the whole time and didn't really have a solid plan or a solid point that she was getting to. I didn't like any of the characters, if I'm honest. I hated the majority of them. I wanted them all to die. I hated that there was just so many brand names thrown into every single sentence. Like, you know, Versace and Dolce & Gabbana and whatever. It was just so annoying. This is definitely not for me at all, and I'm really sad because I wanted to like it. The only good thing about this book is the mention of Muse, who are my favourite band, and the writer was inspired by one of their songs when writing this book, which I love and I appreciate that. And yeah, I'm just going to leave it there, but I gave this book 2 stars. Kind of want to bump it down to 1 star. It's just really not worth it. The last book that I read in November is a book that I didn't mention in my TBR because I wanted it to stay a little bit of a secret. I wanted it to be just kind of a little project that I knew about and no one else. That book is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. So I've vlogged about this book and I will have that vlog up very soon, so you will get to see my full review for this when that is up. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about it now, but I have wanted to read this for a while, but I have been very, very apprehensive just because I know that it is very well loved, and Leigh Bardugo is an author that I have seen everywhere on BookTube, on Bookstagram. You can't really escape her. She's very popular. People love her books. So I was very, very apprehensive because of that reason, because I sometimes find that the books that have a lot of hype and people love to pieces are the books that I generally don't like. And if I'm honest, I wanted to go into this book and absolutely hate it at the end. I did, because I'm a controversial bitch like that. But I actually really liked it. I loved it. I gave this book 4 stars. I wasn't expecting it to be as entertaining as it was. I wasn't expecting to like any of the characters. I don't really have a lot of gripes with it, other than the fact that I did predict some of the things that were happening and it was a little bit cliched. But it's young adult fantasy, so you're going to have cliches left, right and centre anyway. That's part and parcel of the genre, I think. But yeah, I really liked it. I loved the whole world that it's set in. I loved the idea of the shadow fold. I thought that was a very interesting concept. I love the character of the Darkling. I think he's very interesting and I'd love to know more about him. I think Leigh Bardugo is a very good writer. She has this thing of being able to pull you into the world straight away, and I couldn't put it down, and I just commend her for that, because honestly I didn't think it was going to be that good of writing, if I'm honest. So as I said, I gave it 4 stars, really enjoyed it. Will definitely be reading the second book and hopefully the third after that. But yeah, I will link my vlog down below for you when it's up, and then you can see my full review of this book in that. Okay guys, so that was my November wrap up. I read a lot in October, which meant that I felt very burned out at the start of this month, so I'm still pretty happy that I managed to complete 3 books, even though I wasn't in the mood to read a hell of a lot. December, I am going to be taking a little bit more of a back step from reading, just so I can focus on other things. If you have read any of these books that I have mentioned in this video, then leave a comment down below telling me what your thoughts are on them. I would love to hear your opinions on the Grishaverse trilogy. And if you have any recommendations for me for books that I can add to my never-ending TBR list, I would really appreciate that as well. As always, please like this video if you liked it, and also click the subscribe button and the bell button if you want to see more videos from me in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in another video very soon. Bye guys.